kids how to introduce screens and at what age. I have a child who's going to middle school, and the parents are all up in arms. They have, contracts that their kids are signing, and they're asking other parents what they're doing because they want all the kids to be on the same page and with the same rules. Are we freaking out a little bit too much? What kind of rules, from your experience and what you all know, should we be putting in place as parents?
My kids are adults, I'll have to.
You're good, right?
I mean, I get every single parent talk I get asked, what's the right age for a phone? What's the right age for social media? My answer is every family is different, every child is different. I have a friend who was a single mother with 3 kids right here in DC. She had to give her daughter a phone at a very young age, 8 years old, because she had to keep track of them. Most families do it from the transition from elementary school to middle school. That's when I did it. I do agree that giving media contracts or device contracts actually work, mainly because when you give this kind of contract, and that's a family thing, not a school thing, when you're sitting at home and you yourself are agreeing to the same things, no phones at the dinner table, we charge it downstairs. That's a really good time to sort of discuss all of the issues around media, because you are giving them a tool that gives them a lot of power, a lot of connection that can be used for positive and negative, and you want to maximize the positive, minimize the harm, and a family media agreement can help with that.
Mm-hmm. I completely agree, and I would add that in addition to figuring out the specific differences about timing, it's also really important to pair that with empowerment and education. Mm-hmm. So you don't just give a teenager at age 16 a car and say, okay, enjoy. You take courses, you talk about responsibility, you go through an entire process. And I think that in this case, it's maybe even more so. I mean, I probably went a little bit extreme. I made my 14-year-old, before he got his phone, he had to learn how to program. I said, look, these things are either program or be programmed, right? And so he had to learn HTML and JavaScript, and that was maybe a little bit extreme.
I love that idea.
But the idea, I think, did actually work in the sense that he looks at this in a different way. Every time he sees a message on there, he sort of knows how that was created. And he knows that that was created by people, and that this was not created, by some divine force that is always right. And so I think that whole idea of media literacy, understanding how to, not just access this tool, but to analyze and evaluate everything that we see on it, is going to be crucial. And if we as a society can integrate media literacy around these devices as well as other media, I think we're really going to be able to maximize the positive things we can do with them and minimize some of those concerns.
And I would say, there are a lot of schools that are integrating this kind of teaching into their classrooms. And most of us, any of us who are parents, can talk to our teachers about it. We can do that kind of teaching at home, but we should be asking our schools to do it as well.
Okay.